This is part 6 of setting up your iPad, video number 6 here, and I believe that I should be able to wrap up this portion or this series in this one last video here of setting up your iPad from scratch. And where we left off here, if you've been following along, is we're on the very last couple of sections here, starting with the iCloud. And as you can see, it says that my account has not been verified. And if you've started your setup of your device as I have from the beginning, without an iCloud account, without an Apple iTunes account, you would probably be faced with the same situation I have here. So I'm going to just take you through this as if I have never done this before. Because in this account I have not. I've made this account specifically to show from scratch how to set all of this stuff up, make it real easy for you. So I'm going to sign in here with my Apple ID that I created. Now it's going to tell me that I have to review my account information because I've not used this account before. And it's going to bring you into the iTunes store. I don't know if you noticed this here, but right to get into this menu, I clicked on Store and Sign In, because in order to purchase things or review your account information from this computer in iTunes, you've got to sign in. And once we complete the sign-in process, we'll authorize this computer. You're allowed to have 5 computers authorized on your account, allowing you to have access to the account information and all of your library information. And at any time, if you lose your computer or something, you can deauthorize machines. You can deauthorize them all and start over. It's pretty easy to do. But let's continue here. You have to read through all this stuff, or at least agree to it. Without agreeing, you won't be able to continue and move the process forward. All right, now here it's going to ask you for your address, and we're going to put in some billing information here so that if you do decide to purchase applications, you have a way of doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and put my information in here, and I am going to fill out my information and just click continue and pause this and pick it up on the next screen. Alright, and here we are on the next screen after I've hit continue and fill it in my billing address. Now it says that it's sent a verification email to the email address that I have set up for my account, which happens to be brivix@hotmail.com. Now I can go out to the web, go to hotmail.com, log in. You can, if you have your account, whatever it may be, at outlook.com or at Gmail or Yahoo or whatever it is, go check your mail now, and I'm going to show you how to authenticate or authorize your account. Alright, now you see that I've got the email here saying to verify my Apple ID. And just click on the link, verify now. It's going to have you sign in again. If you haven't memorized your password by now, this will definitely help facilitate that. Okay, address verified. So now we can go on our iPad and make sure that the settings are it shows that it's verified. Come back to iTunes first. Click OK. Let's see what happens here. All right. It says your Apple ID is now ready to use with the iTunes Store. Start shopping. Woohoo! Now we can purchase things from the store if we have put in credit card information, and that can be done from your account settings. Let's see where that is here. View account. It's going to ask you to put your password in yet again. Okay, here it says here under Apple ID summary, your payment type. No credit card on file. I have not put a credit card in, but you can simply do that by clicking edit. And entering your credit card information so that you are able to purchase things from the store. I'm going to go ahead and authorize this computer while I'm at it. And then it says this computer is already authorized. Okay, that must have been since I signed in. It must have automatically authorized the account for me. So I'm going to close iTunes now and return to the iPad. Okay, back online here. And now, as you can see, this screen here is no longer grayed out. Now we can continue here. Alright, this shows some information on your iCloud account here, your storage plan. Shows you have 5 gigabytes free. You can also view your payment information here and enter in or edit payment information right there. I don't have mail selected for iCloud because I just don't want to have it. If you wanted to have it set up, that's where you would enable it. All these other items here, the contacts, calendars, reminders, and Safari items like your home or your favorites or bookmarks, those all sync with iCloud, and this is where that is enabled or disabled. So your photo synchronization. This allows you to sync your photo stream. So when you take a picture with your iPad or your iPhone, it synchronizes it automatically to your photo stream, so that if you lose your device or you sign in with your Apple ID, iCloud ID, to another device, all of those photos will be visible again on that new device. Find My iPad is turned on. That way, if you lose your iPad, you can log in to Find My iPad and locate the device. Here's where you can manage storage and backup. You can change your plan here, buy more storage, backup now. Originally, when I set this up, I chose to back up to iTunes just because I don't want to pay for the additional storage. I have quite a bit of storage that I generally use. This account is new, so I don't have anything on there, so that's irrelevant for this video. But all right, moving along here, the option below is Mail, Contacts, and Calendars. Now this is where you would set up mail accounts. If you click Add or push Add Account, you're going to see all the options that you have here. You can set up a standard old pop account. If you have that type of email, you would push Other to do that. At the bottom there, you're going to use Outlook.com. Exchange, this is a popular one with businesses. They have an on-premise Exchange server, and the other ones are self-explanatory there, so I'm not going to spend too much time there. You can also look at your settings here for the other accounts that you have. change the way the data is brought to you. Push just means that it's going to come to you as soon as it comes in, and you don't have to wait for a specific time period. And fetch below is where you wait. So I'm going to move forward from there. A lot of these are just settings for email accounts. You can see BCC myself every time you send an email message, it'll send that same message to your account. That's nice for record keeping. Preview 2 lines, 3 lines for your preview. Here's where you can set your signature. So every time when you send out a message, this is the tag that's going to be shown. You can change this information and say sent from so and so or whatever, but this is where you would set that up. You can sort your contacts. All this stuff is pretty self-explanatory, so that's why I'm kind of breezing through it here. And if you want to, you can spend more time on this portion here. I'm trying to see if I missed anything else. Down here, where it says default calendar, and also above under contacts, this is pretty important, the default account. If you're setting your phone up to synchronize with iCloud or an Exchange server or Google, something that supports synchronized contacts, you're going to want to come down here and change this to that particular account, especially if you have Exchange. I would recommend using Exchange as your default account. That way, when you create entries in either the contacts or calendars, it will store it in Exchange first, and by default it'll be there so that when you go back to Outlook, you will see that the new contact that you created on your iPad will show up in Outlook, and vice versa as well. If you leave it default, which is on your iPad, then it doesn't synchronize across the cloud and all your other devices. So this is very important to do. All right, moving right along here to notes again. If you have an Exchange server, you should have an option here that says for Exchange to sync there. Otherwise, it's going to default to your iPad. Right now, that's the only account I have set up. So, reminders. When do you want to sync your reminders? How often? Messages. This allows you to do text messaging using iMessage, enabling you to message other users that have Apple devices. And if you sign in, then you can be reached on this device as well as send messages from this device. Basically just like using SMS text messaging on your cell phone, and you'll be able to do that through here, through the messaging app. FaceTime, same thing as what I just said for messages, allows you to be reached and reach others using FaceTime if you have a FaceTime enabled iPad, which most of the iPad 1s are probably out of commission around this time, but some of you may still be using an iPad 1, and in that case this would not apply to you. Maps just gives you some more settings here for the apps, the Maps app rather, I'm sorry. And Safari. Okay, here you can choose some default options for Safari. Whether you like to use Google, Yahoo, or Bing for your default search engine. Passwords and autofill. Doesn't look like I have anything saved in here, but it's just more information or more settings for that option there. Favorites. Show favorites bar. This should show your favorites on the Safari app. And with that enabled, I'll show you what that does. You can go out to the Safari and you can see the favorites here on the favorites bar, which is actually pretty handy. You can save some websites that you frequently go to, like Apple, and let's see if we can get a different one here. Let's go to Microsoft.com. Pops up, and if you push on bookmark, you can name it whatever you'd like to name it. Let's just call it Microsoft US for short there, and you can choose a location. You can either put it in your favorites or in your bookmarks, and they use a little different terminology than Microsoft. Bookmarks is basically your favorites list, and favorites would be the favorites bar. So you just push save, and as you can see, it shows up here in my favorites bar. Alright, so I'm going to go back to the settings because I'm going to have a whole nother video on how to use Safari and stuff later, but just wanted to show what the favorites bar was. You can have it block pop-ups. Let's see, do not track. It's privacy. It's probably a good idea to put on there. Some of these things are really granular, and here, this is nice. You can clear your history from here. If you get, if you're like me, I like to go back and look at sites that I've used, because I usually use the same sites over and over again. But sometimes if you've gone into a website and you click further and further down, or you go to different places, it kind of gets, you get a mess, a long list of history, and then it becomes counterintuitive. So at that point, you may want to just clear it so that your most frequent hits show up. And you can also clear cookies and data from here as well. And choose whether or not to use cellular data. None of this is important right now. Some feeds. Alright, so that concludes this section, and let's move down to iTunes here. iTunes and App Store. Alright, we can go ahead and sign in here if you'd like, so that we can download apps. I'm not going to do that right now, just for the sake of time here, because we are getting a little long on this section. But this would allow you to, when you open up the App Store, it'll allow you to download apps. Now, obviously, I have not opened the apps yet. I'm sorry, the App Store app, and that's why I'm being presented with this. But you're going to want to log in, so you can go ahead and do that. I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm just going to pause the video so that it goes quicker. All right, now that I've signed in, it'll show all my music, videos, and you can also tell it to automatically download any music or apps that you've downloaded from other devices. I usually leave this off because any music or anything that I download onto my iPhone, I typically don't want on my iPad. Likewise with apps, if you've got kids accounts, sometimes you're going to download apps to their iPads or something, and you don't really want all their games all over your iPad. So you can, if you leave that off, it won't automatically come to you. Again, another option for use cellular data or not to do that. Okay, then the music app, you can turn on your EQ here, just showing more options. Max volume, protect your hearing. Not really sure what sound check is, but I haven't needed it so far, so I don't know. I guess you could look that up if you're interested in that. iTunes match, again, there's more stuff to this that it's just not worth going through on this setting. I'm sorry, on this video. This is a more granular thing that I would touch on in another video. videos, start playing where you left off. That's a cool thing to have on, or just have a video from the beginning. Show all videos. This is part for home sharing. Again, I'm not going to touch too much on that right now. Photo stream, and this tells the iPad to automatically upload new photos when connected to Wi-Fi that you've taken with your iPad. Let's see some other things in here. Play each slide when you're going through a slideshow. You can repeat it, you can shuffle it. Camera grid. When you go to the camera app and you have this enabled, you'll see the grid there. Turn that off. It'll go away. Not really sure what the purpose of that is, but I'm not a photographer, so. Okay. Oh, right below that, when you have HDR set, you can choose to save both pictures, which if it does photograph in HDR or high dynamic range, it'll keep, if you have this enabled, it will keep both pictures. So you essentially have two pictures of the same scene, the same picture. One will be in HDR and one will not. If you uncheck that, it will not keep the original. Game Center. I don't ever use this. This may be for another video. But I'm not going to spend any time on the Game Center. Alright, and this is your social media down here. You can sign into your Twitter account, and it essentially integrates these social media apps with the iPad so that you can view the Facebook or Twitter contacts and that kind of thing in the contacts and messaging app and so forth of the iPad. So if you have Twitter and Facebook and Flickr and Vimeo accounts, you can certainly log in and synchronize that up. And the last tab here on the settings app is for developers. I don't believe that I'm making this video for any developers, so we're probably just going to gloss over this altogether. But that pretty much completes video 6 here of using the settings app. And thank you for watching the video. Look for other videos as I touch on other applications that come with the iPad and setting up accounts for each of those and just the general functionality. And that concludes this video.